I think it's common interests. I think a lot of people will be like, wow, that's really cool. I like that you have that yarn on there, you know, a ball of yarn. I sew too. Let's talk about that. Or a memorial tattoo where someone will bond over cancer or something like that. So it'll be like in support groups. And I really like that. I think that's pretty relevant.
And for me, it's purely just an art and a culture, because people that do tattoos, people that get tattooed, have this sense of community and this sense of society to us, and you don't get to see that if you haven't been tattooed or if you haven't hung around tattoo shops or tattooed people. But I think that it's an art form that has its own culture around it. The things that people do to their bodies in order to feel like themselves or to feel different from themselves, or to feel different from other people is I think something that makes, I mean, it is a culture in itself. It's the same that the way that people dress or the way that people look at fashion or the way that people look at food. It is a culture to itself.
When people look at your body, it does tell a story. It says where I've been. It says, you know, this is what I liked. This is what I was into in that part of time. And I love that. I love that we all have a story and we can share that. There are some tattoos that I just love to hear, like from people. I'll just sit there and talk about it and they'll be like, I was in this biker gang at one point in time. Really? What was that like? That sounds exciting and thrilling. Not all of it, okay. But what I really want is I want to sit down with those people and just hear the story. Just share the story. And there's tattoos from everywhere. I mean, this person might have gotten tattooed in Idaho in some log cabin, you know? You just don't know, an off-grid space. Tell me about that. So I just really like to hear about all the tattoo stories. One of the biggest things is we want to make sure that your artist is being serious about his artwork. So take a look at the portfolios. Ask questions about safety. What's their sterilization technique? Do they have disposable tubes and needles? That's really important for us, and we think generally most of the community is moving that way if it hasn't already. So just be willing to ask hard questions and then do your research online. There's a lot of places. The APT is the Alliance of Professional Tattooists. They have a stringent guideline, and we actually built our business on that.
Oh, it looks so cool.
I would say my recommendation would be to have a meeting for your first one, but after that you're going to realize that it doesn't have to, and it can just be an accessory to your body. It can be something that you just enjoy. It doesn't have to have some deeper meaning. And even if your meaning is that it looks cool, I think that's meaning enough, right? Like, it looks cool. It's a moment in time that you've just captured. And even if 20 years from now you don't like what it looks like, you know what 20 years ago you did like, right? And so you can kind of snapshot your own experiences and your own self-growth, I guess, with your tattoos.
What would you say to somebody who is thinking about getting a tattoo but is kind of weary about it?
Just fucking do it. That would be my short answer to them. But I guess my longer answer would be, if it was as bad as you think it's going to be, not everybody would have them. And I promise you, everybody has them.
If somebody comes into your shop and they're thinking about getting a tattoo, but they're not really sure, or they're kind of weary about it, what would you say to them?
I would say just do your research. Talk to your artists. See if they're listening to what you have to say. That's probably the most important thing, is you want to talk about your tattoo, and you want to make sure that you get your vision out on the skin the way you want it. Now, aftercare, do you need any?
So basically what I have is I have that, like, you know, the gold dial soap.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've used the last few times.
Is it fragrance-free and dye-free?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have just the Aquaphor.
Mm-hmm.
And use, I think, like twice a day, 3 times.
2 to 3 times a day, that's great, yeah.
All right, cool.
Repeat that process.
So,
And then one thing that I want you to add is, like, after a week to 10 days, switch over to like Lubriderm or Curel, like a fragrance-free, dye-free lotion,
okay.
and use that for the rest of the month, and that'll repair your skin all the way out.
What did you say it was called?
Lubriderm or Curel, just a non-fragrant, dye-free lotion.
Okay, I can do that. And then how many weeks do you think until I stop having to like clean it the 2 or 3 times a day?
Oh, that's like 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, okay. I always forget that. I don't know how, but I always forget that. Okay, cool. All right.